Hello and welcome everyone to special episode of Women Who Lead. This month is a celebration for many reasons. First of all, we have Pride Month, which we want to acknowledge and recognize. Juneteenth, which is an important date, which commemorates the emancipation of enslaved people in the United States. And also National Homeownership Month, which is important for all of us in the industry. And this week also very special because we celebrate the new CEO and president of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services and HSF affiliates. Experience, integrity, and innovation are all characteristics describing this charismatic leader who has been chosen to lead the most iconic brand in real estate. My name is Teresa Palacio Smith, and I am Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer for Home Services of America and HSF affiliates. And I'm very excited to be getting together today with all of you to enjoy un cafecito together as we sit down for a conversation with the new boss of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Christy Bugnick. I found this quote, which I thought was perfect for you, Christy. In this ever-changing society, the most powerful and enduring brands are built from the heart. They are real and sustainable. Their foundations are stronger because they're built with the strength of the human spirit, not an ad campaign. The companies that are lasting are those that are authentic and whose leaders lead with that same authenticity. Howard Schultz, CEO of Starbucks. And this authenticity is the one that our new leader also displays. I think it really speaks about you, Christy. And that's what I found to be true every time that I have had any kind of interaction with you. As a second generation real estate broker and executive, Christy brings a wealth of experience, knowledge, and commitment to her new role. Prior to joining Berkshire Hathaway Home Services as the global leader, Christy was president and CEO of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Florida Network Realty, and continuing the legacy of excellence that was established by founder Linda Scherer. But Christy led the company to new levels of success, including growth through mergers and acquisitions, and her leadership included creating a one-stop shopping environment for residential real estate. Christy has been listed in the 2021 Swampole Power 200 as one of the most powerful and influential executives and leaders in the residential real estate brokerage industry. And she's also serves on many boards, including the Dreams Come True organization, which works with children battling life-threatening illnesses, and served as president during 2019 through 2020. Bugnick is a member of the Jacksonville Chamber of Commerce and the Northeast Florida Association of Realtors. She also supports the Donna Foundation and the Wolfson Children's Hospital of Jacksonville and has received numerous honors for her dedication to the real estate industry and community. And last but not least, he also serves as chairperson of the Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Florida Network Realty. It's an honor to have the opportunity to speak to Christy today. And I know all of you are interested in hearing from this new visionary leader. So let's get started. Christy, welcome. I'm so excited to have you on the show. So for those who don't know you, Christy, tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, thank you. And first of all, I want to thank you for that wonderful quote from Charles Schultz. I want, if you wouldn't mind sending that to me, that is really powerful. And it really does encapsulate who I am and my leadership style as well. So thank you for that. So yeah, a little bit about me. My background started back when I was about 11 years old. So it was many moons ago. My mother, we had just moved to Jacksonville from Japan. Our family was a Navy family and we had traveled all over the world. And my first 10 years of my life, we lived in 17 different places. So I was used to relocation. I was used to making friends quickly and then moving on. And when we moved to Jacksonville, my mother, Linda Scherer, she decided that she wanted to get into real estate sales. And she was also newly divorced. So a newly divorced mother of two girls. And so my sister and I became the marketing department. We were the house measuring committee. We helped with the open houses. We walked flyers in the neighborhood. We answered the phones. We did whatever really needed to be done. It was truly a family business. And it was a whole lot of fun working together. And over the years, it was one of those things that when I got to the point where I was getting ready to go to college, I had also decided that there was one thing I would absolutely never do in my life. And that was that I would never, ever get into real estate sales. It was too all encompassing, is what I felt. So, needless to say, you fast forward a few years, my mother in 1988, she founded our company. So that's over 33 years ago now. And we had talked on and off over the years once I graduated college about maybe coming together at some point. And so, in about 19 years ago, in 2002, it was finally the right time. I had worked in a bank that had been, purchased by a number of banks, ultimately leading up to Bank of America. And I ran their sales and leadership training division for the country. And it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. But at a certain point, I decided the travel was a little bit much. My husband and I were doing high fives in the airport and not seeing one another. So at that point in 2002, Linda and I sat down and talked and decided, you know what, now is the right time. Let's come together. And real estate does have a way of just getting in your heart and in your blood and staying there. And I haven't looked back. I mean, it has been the most wonderful, crazy, stressful, fun 19 years of my life. It's just been the greatest challenge, and being able to work with unbelievable professionals. I'm so grateful for it. So my mother was also very happy that she never had to fire me, because that would have made Sunday dinner very uncomfortable. So fortunately, that didn't have to happen. And here we are today, and I'm still pinching myself. I love everything about real estate, and I bleed Cabernet.
Well, and it's great to know that our leader today has experience in so many facets of the industry, that, you had relocation, obviously part of your blood, your military family, right? That's so important, because we have so many vets that we represent across the country. You've got the experience of being started in the industry, and then the mortgage side, because I know that you actually did mortgages too, right?
I
so
did.
That piece, and understand, because that's really a complicated piece and a very critical part to helping individuals get into homes. So you understand that part of it. Then you served as somebody that ran an office and an operation, and then became their CEO and president. And so you've led in every aspect. I think that's so really insightful too, for us to have someone that really has all that experience, because it really does benefit our brand. Now, one of the things too, Christy, that I think everyone, and I saw this on the Today Show, and I thought, what a great question. There are people that lead from behind, and there are people that lead from the front. So what's your style, so that everyone starts to kind of understand how you like to operate?
I thought about this question when you asked me this, and I really believe it depends on the situation. I wouldn't say that I have one specific style in terms of leadership. If it's something that it's brand new to the company and we're launching it, and it needs to have that, CEO leading out from the front, then you better believe I'm there waving the flag and cheering everybody on, and making sure that everybody understands the importance of whatever it is that we're trying to do or trying to accomplish. However, if it's something that, say, I've delegated a task or a job or a role to another individual, you better believe I will be leading from behind and cheering that person on and helping them in any way that I can. So I really feel that it depends on the situation, and I move on the continuum depending upon the day, and depending also on the task.
Well, I love that. I really do. And I think that is just great, because I think that really just kind of shows what a great leader you are, right? What do you, but everyone says, right? We've always heard. So what do you believe are the qualities of a great leader?
And that's another one that it's a kind of difficult to answer, because it depends on what is being asked. But I've read a number of books over the years, and that discuss what it takes to be a great leader. And I've, collected many pearls of wisdom from them, as well as my dealings with various broker owners from Berkshire Hathaway and from Home Services of America. But in my case, I really believe that being a great leader involves leading with the heart and the mind, and willing to take risks and encouraging others to do the same. one of the things that our team here in Jacksonville, Florida kind of giggles about a little bit, but they know it's serious, is I really challenge people to make a mistake. Because if you make mistakes, it means you're really stretching. It means you're really pushing yourself to do better, to grow. And so I think that that's really important when we look at our team and make sure that everybody feels very comfortable that along the way, if they're going to grow, there are going to be mistakes. I've also always had a very strong gut instinct. And when I've followed my gut, I'm almost always spot on. When I don't, when I deviate from that, I find that the results might not be quite what I wanted. So those are some of the real, I would say, the pieces of my leadership style. And then finally, the other aspect of being a great leader is making sure that you surround yourself with great people. And I've been so proud over the years to surround myself with very great people, both within Florida Network Realty, but also the Berkshire Hathaway Home Services franchise network, and also Home Services of America. There's nobody finer than makes up those two groups.
And I love that. And also, like, one of the other questions that came up, and I know a lot of our audience, because our audience is going to be made up of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. It'll be individuals that are trying to learn from how do I get to where you are? So, sure. Do you think there's anything such as a natural born leader, or is that something that can be taught? So what are your thoughts about that?
So I've never observed a natural born leader. I've read a lot about that. I believe that some people are raised in an environment where becoming a leader is more natural. For example, my mother, she's always been an incredible leader and mentor to me. And had I not had her and that experience through my childhood, I'm not sure I'd be where I was today. And I don't want that to be taken as we had a lot, because when I was a young child and I was really first learning from her, we pinched pennies just to be able to put food on the table. I mean, it was many, many years of her hard work before we had, even family vacations. So I don't mean that to be a way of saying you have to have means. It's not that at all. It's an environment where somebody believes in you and they model the behavior so that it's just natural. You learn it because you're seeing it. But I also want to say that I don't believe that a person has to have that as a young child in order to become a leader later on. I do think it makes it easier, but it's certainly not impossible to become a leader with a different sort of background.
Oh gosh, I think that is so true. And it speaks volumes. So there's a lot of leadership programs now that are being instituted in so many schools. And I think it really helps to that path. But having someone like your mom, who was not only a mother, she was a wife, serving in the military aspects of movement, right? The challenges with that, and then herself saying, hey, I want to do something. I think it's so inspiring, right? I want to be a realtor. I want to own my own company, all of those things, I think.
Exactly. And she also made my sister and I realize that there isn't anything that we couldn't do. So, we throughout our entire life, we knew that if we wanted to try and achieve it, we could do it. She believed in us. And that's the one thing I would say is, if you don't have that type of family dynamic, then what a person would want to do is find a mentor. It doesn't have to be within your family. And the sky's the limit for everyone.
Alan Dalton has many famous sayings, and one is, the only way we have access to people's concerns or challenges is through what they are, right? To people through their concerns and challenges. So what do you think the greatest concerns or challenges of our brokers and the agents globally that you'll be leading are?
So I really think that there's a mixed message being sent by many companies that are entering today's market, because there's a whole lot of noise in the marketplace. The technology companies are taking over, realtors are going to be gone. The inventory is so low that there's just not enough for buyers to buy. And I think that our job is to provide clarity to our franchise network, and so that the franchise network can provide clarity to their clients and their agents. The biggest thing that I think that we need to all embrace and believe is that we are here to stay. We are the forever brand with the forever agents, and our business model is built on relationships versus a transactional type of model. I believe that, technology will not replace realtors because each real estate transaction is so personal, it's so emotional, and it's often the biggest purchase or sale an individual will make. So when we cut through all of that noise, I think that we do need to be able to get the word out to our clients to say that, you know what, it's not a low inventory market. Inventory is replenishing. It's that the sales are so frothy and strong right now that it is reducing the days on the market dramatically. So when we go into purchasing a property, we need to go in with eyes wide open and be prepared. Our agents need to make sure that they have done the research that they can do to best serve those clients. So I think that's one of the challenges that we're seeing, is this, we're replenishing the inventory, but we're selling it at a much faster pace. The other, challenge that we're seeing is, again, a lot of these iBuyer type of models cropping up and trying to confuse clients. And we need to just cut through it and let the world know that we are here to stay. We have been here. And this is a very personal business. And the more that we can get that message out, that it's not a business that can be just duplicated through the internet, I think that will really help to ease some people's minds, because I've actually heard from buyers and sellers that they're concerned about that. So those are the couple of things.
And I think I couldn't agree with you more. I think one of the biggest things with the iBuyer programs is that people don't realize, right, that they're actually losing money when they're going through these programs, because obviously these people are buying their homes not going to be at a gain. It's going to be at a loss to them. So serving our consumers, serving and helping them with that complicated process. And if you think about how it's been years since I've gone through the purchase process, but I remember my first experience and my second experience, and both were daunting. I mean,
yes.
I'm in real estate and I'm like, oh my God, I've got to get this done. I've got to do this. And what? This fell through. Why? I got to get, so it is a daunting experience, and having the experience of a realtor who really knows what they're doing, help you guide it through the process, certainly is going to be a benefit. So thank you, Christy. I
Absolutely.
think that's a great view. So when Gino called you to offer this position, which of the following reactions did you have? Like, I would be going, like, I was wondering when you would ask me. Well, he knows me better than I know myself, right? What does he see in me that I don't see in myself? I'm the right person for this role and ready for the opportunity and challenge, or a mix of the above, or your own thoughts. What was running through your mind?
So I had to laugh when I read this question. Truly, I was in complete disbelief. I was sitting on my sofa 3 Saturdays ago, and he called and started the conversation. And I told him, I said, I'm just completely blown away. I never would have expected that. It's not something I was expecting. I have had a handful of people over the last many years say that they could see me in the role, but I just kind of laughed it off, and I didn't see that. But I will also say that I've always embraced change, and I've always loved a challenge. So once it had a moment to just sink in, I actually called Gino the very next day and said, I'd like to throw my name in the hat. I think that this is something, it's not something I ever anticipated, but I think it would be something I would really enjoy. And I think I'd be good for the network. I really do. And so he offered me the position, and it's been a wild ride over the last couple of weeks.
For the first two weeks, it's like been, wow. I just like, what can we keep up with Christy, right? Where's Christy right now? Kind of like the where's Waldo.
Yeah, so, exactly. That's how I felt too.
So what's your plan for the first 30, 60, and 90 days?
So the first 90 days, let's just say, last week I spent in Irvine, California, meeting with the HSF team. And I'll tell you, having been on the franchise side for the last 19 years, and like I said, our company for 33, I knew that the HSF employees were very talented, that they brought a lot to the table. But after spending that week with them last week, I am completely blown away by their dedication to the network, by the sheer ideas and the brain trust that we have in that team is just phenomenal. So I am really, really excited to work with them. So the first little while, let's say the first 30 days, my plan is to really ask a lot of questions and learn and listen, to the team. The second 30 days will be preparing the plans for the future. And then going forward, it'll be implementation. So that's really, I think the listening and learning right now is extremely important because they have a lot more knowledge than I do on the franchise side of the house. I've been an operator, I've been a broker, I've been all of those things. I've walked in the owner operator's shoes, but I've not been on this side of the house. So I'm eager to learn.
Which is the most important piece anyway, is
It
your
is.
side of it, because that's who we work for, right? It's our
Right.
franchise owners and our brokers and our agents across our network agents across the country. So
Exactly.
pivoting on, and you kind of touched on this, being that your mother served as a mentor to you and obviously running the company, and then now you took it on and you took it to new heights when you took on that role. Who do you see as somebody that really has mentored you or that you look up for inspiration?
So the biggest mentor in my life is my mother. She's always believed that my sister and I could do or be, or, anything that we wanted. So she has always been my source of strength and my mentor my entire life. I've had others. Matter of fact, you mentioned the mortgage side of the house. When I first got into mortgages, that was something that I really didn't know. And there was a man named Andre Brooks, and he was just a phenomenal leader. And he really instilled a lot of values in me that I take forward to this day. He and my mother both, the work ethic was just incredibly strong. He was a very humble leader, and it was always fun to watch him. We had a couple of loan officers that had maybe some larger egos, and it was fun to watch him as he was able to handle those egos and help them realize that, you're not here to puff yourself up, you're here to serve others. And so it's that whole servant leadership that I learned from him. And then finally, Tom Petway, who was one of our owner investors in Florida Network Realty before we sold to Home Services, he has always been a mentor to me. He's one of the most amazing leaders and family men that I've ever known. And he just, I can't even tell you all of the things that he instilled, but one of my favorite quotes, and I know you're going to ask me this later, so I'll just go ahead and launch right into it. One of my very favorite quotes comes from him, and that is that there's no such thing as a shortcut. Anything in life that's worth having or doing requires work, and you have to do the hard work. So that's something that just always resonates with me.
That's great. So pivoting, because you're a woman, right? And second generation. So what were any biases that you recall or assumptions that might be or have been made about you that you want to just, kind of talk about that you overcame?
So I really pondered over this question because I have been very fortunate in my life that I've worked with most of my bosses have been men. But they each and every one of them were very much of the mindset of trying to promote the best person for the job. And so I benefited from that. And I wouldn't say that I had any real biases against me, at least not that I was aware of. It is very possible that I just, ignored it and moved on. The one assumption that I think a lot of people have had about me and my family is that, we came from, some sort of means or something like that. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Everything that our family has earned, my mother worked extremely hard for, and we were, we had a real tough go of it for many years. And so that's something that I think that's important to note, because it doesn't require means to be successful. It requires a really strong work ethic and again, being willing to do that hard work. So I think that that's probably the only assumption that's ever been made about me.
Wow. And that's a big one, right? Because
It
people don't
is.
realize, they think they see you at the level you're in and they think, oh, it was overnight.
Yeah, or a
And it,
silver platter, silver
yeah,
platter. There was no
right.
silver platter. Our platter was really rusty.
So tell me a little bit about who has made the biggest impact in your career professionally or personally. And you talked a little bit about some of those mentors that you had. Does anyone else come to mind?
Well, I mentioned Tom Petway and Andre Brooks. Those two definitely made a huge impact in my career and in my life. The other thing, though, is one of the things that you asked me about was personal sacrifices that I've made throughout my career. And so I've been married for 25 years, 26 years in October, actually. And for the first 15 years, my husband and I, we were working on building our careers. We were working on building homes. That's a big passion of mine. I love building homes. And so every year we'd say, gee, should we think about having a family? Oh, no, we'll do it next year. And so we finally had our daughter, Kate, after 15 years of marriage, and she's 10 years old now. And I have to say, today, she's my why. There's no question. I love that she is able to see women in strong roles. It's something that I had growing up, and I think it's so empowering to her to think that there are zero borders. We always talk about her being a neuroscientist and a cure of cancer of the world, and she genuinely believes it. She gets annoyed with me, but she believes it. But I would say if I look at the last 10 years, there have been some larger sacrifices, missing a recital or missing things that are really important to her or her school. And that is something that's extremely important to me. I want to walk a strong balance of being a leader and being a mom and a wife and all of the other roles that I have as well. So she knows that I'm there for her, so there's not resentment or anything like that. But those are some sacrifices, and I think there are a lot of parents out there who can speak to the same thing.
Oh, really it is so true because you've got such a huge role and you want to, but I know that she's looking up to you, and I thought it was the sweetest thing when you put it on Facebook how she'd written this beautiful note, when you got the role and we're traveling. So I thought, what a special relationship that you have with her, and of course it resonates too with the way that you are. So and what advice have you given her, like, or a family member, if you had to give your daughter or a family member a piece of advice today about life or business, what would it be?
So the advice that I've used in raising Kate, and it's the advice that I use with anybody that I talk with, whether it's a mentor-mentee type of situation or even an employee, and that is to always find a way to help others in your personal journey. So, by doing so, you live a life that's worthwhile. You also make an impact that's bigger than you. And so it doesn't matter if it's just a kind word for somebody, or you're walking past a military member and say thank you for your service, or if you help people at the holidays, or if you pitch in at the soup kitchen on regularly. But or if even just from an employee standpoint, is there somebody that you can mentor or lift up within your organization that could use a little bit of guidance or a helping hand? So that's kind of how I've lived my life, and that's how we're raising Kate, and I think it's really important.
Oh, that's beautiful. And I noticed that you do so much work and volunteer in so many organizations. So I love that passion, Christy. And I think what great advice to give your daughter. And tell me your daughter's name. It's Kate.
Kate. It's Catherine Violet, and we call her Kate.
Oh, beautiful. So what is something people may not know about you? Tell us a little bit about your fun side.
My fun side. All right. I love action adventure. So if we go on a diving trip, I am the first off the boat, and I'm hopeful to see sharks. So that's something a little crazy. I also play the guitar. My daughter and I have been taking lessons together for the last 2 years. It's something that I regretted from not doing in childhood. And my mother, of course, says, I told you so. So we've been taking guitar lessons and having a blast. And for anybody that plays the guitar, that is so difficult. I can't get over how hard it is, but it's a lot of fun. We enjoy golfing. We enjoy, my daughter, she surfs and she's really good at it. She's taking lessons. She's actually been in a couple of competitions. And we live near the beach. So we're always out on the beach, and we have 2 dogs, 2 golden doodles, Lola and Ruby, and they are hysterical. They are horribly trained, not because of them. It's entirely our fault. But yeah, we just, it's always 100 miles a minute around here. And that's really kind of the pace that I like it. It's fun.
Oh, I love it. That's great. And I can see the beach, right? You're right there. That's your background and your backyard. And what a beautiful way to kind of kind of be at the tail end of our conversation. Can you believe it?
Thank you.
We've gone through already 40 minutes. So
Wow.
I know it's been so fun getting to know you a little better, Christy. So tell me a little bit again, what's your favorite, like if you were going to give advice to what books do you read, or you've taken this course that you highly recommend, or, and you've already kind of given us a quote that you really love, so that we can kind of end our conversations with something that we'll share with the audience that resonates with you.
I am an avid reader, and it's really hard to select a book. I like reading books that I consider good for me and also for my career. But I also like to read books that just take me away, because it's a really good time for me to be able to disconnect and enjoy. And there is a book, Educated. I don't know if you've read it, Teresa, but it is an outstanding read if you're looking for something that's not business related. In terms of something business related, I still go back to some of the old great John Gordon books. I love John Gordon. I love Gino's 40X. That's when I actually need to read that one again. I haven't read it in about 3 years, and I need to pick it up and read it again. So, but again, the quote that I love is, "There's no such thing as a shortcut in life. Got to do the hard work."
I love that. Well, thank you so much, Christy, for giving us the time today. It was such a special to get to know you better and to hear from you and where the direction that we're going to be going to. And certainly we will be involving you in so many events with our multicultural trade organizations. They can't wait to hear from you. And I really think, to me, this quote kind of resonates with you. And I think, that I think when I was thinking about what inspires me about Christy. So I found this one, I thought it was really nice. So a true leader has the confidence to stand alone, the courage to make tough decisions, and the compassion to listen to the needs of others. He does not set out to be a leader, but becomes one by the equality of his actions and the integrity of his intent. And that's by Douglas MacArthur. And I thought, wow, that is just you to describe the integrity, your actions, building to the level with that you've come and how far. I mean, I just can't let you know how excited for me, being a woman, to have a woman lead an organization is truly a huge aspiration. So I really am honored and super excited about your position, and also very excited about where the leaders, where our future is taking us, and your leadership as well. So
thank you, Teresa.
Thank you so much, Christy. And thank all of you who are watching us. Join us again 2 weeks from today. That's going to be June 23rd, when we are going to be hosting the NARP Top 250 list. The women that have made this list, the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals, just came out. We're proud to say that we had over 99, almost hit 100 of our agents listed in the different categories. And we've got great women that are going to be featured on our next show that I want you all to tune in and to hear from. And again, don't forget to join our Facebook page, share our episodes, and like our YouTube channel. And remember my saying to always bring other women up the ladder with you as you climb up to the top. Thanks again, everyone. Thanks, Christy. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.